Right. Hello, everybody. I've got a thunderstorm happening around me, so I'm hoping that we have no trouble with our connection here. Just wanted to say, as you sign in, please make sure you let us know where you're signing in from. We want to see where everybody's coming from. And today, we're excited to be interviewing and talking and seeing the studio of Jean Gauger. I've been working on, she gave us various pronunciation opportunities for her last name. Depending on where in the world you're talking to Jean from, you can pronounce her last name the way it's supposed to be. I want to start by thanking our sponsors today, DHG. They are a wonderful wool house in Prato, Italy. We're very lucky that they support us, but they support artists all over the world. And you can get, if you're in the States, another one of our great sponsors, New England Felting Supply, they carry a lot of the DHG wools, and they are beautiful wools, really. So thank you, DHG. It made me think of what a small ecosystem we all are. You know, the magazine supports the artists buy their supplies, and the suppliers support the magazine, and it's a circle of that's really, we're all a bunch of entrepreneurs, all a bunch of small businesses. So I always say it's really important to just keep supporting each other as best we can. Yeah, if you have an exhibit, if you have a workshop, post it, share your friends' workshops. You know, Fiber Art Now, our website, is just full of amazing blogs from artists, and we've got a great events calendar that's on a Google map. So put your event on our calendar, stay in touch with our website, and let's go and start talking to Jean. Hi, Jean.
Hi, how are you, Cammie?
Great, great. And Victoria's is my tech support right there in the middle. So Victoria,
Hi, Victoria.
Hi.
So okay, so it looks like we've got somebody already from New York and New Jersey. This is good. This is good. I love the East Coast chiming in. And the good news is this is all recorded, so all the past fanfares are on our website, and you can, because it's not always you're not always right there at 3 o'clock on Sunday Eastern Standard Time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Jean, look behind you. Look at all those great colors. That's
I know. I was waiting, just getting all organized, waiting to sign on, and I'm like, well, I don't have anything to do. I think I'll start a shawlette, which I did. Well, I was, it's like I wasted time.
Looks like the color wheel right back there behind you.
Yeah, probably, yes. It's I try to be, as I've grown with time, a little bit more organized, and getting organized as far as my colors kind of in order and together. It makes picking and choosing a little bit easier when you want to make something, because it's you take from here and take from there, and all goes together. And then if that doesn't work, I pull out one of Gail Callahan's color grids, and it works like magic.
That's nice. I like those too.
Oh, they're great.
They are.
Classes love them. I mean, it's I think they're great. I really do. It's a big help to me, even that I usually do know off the top of my head or whatever, but it's still fun to go through it, and it helps. It's a big help.
Yeah,
to try to figure out what
do you have one where in reaching?
Yeah.
You can show us. It's always fun to see. Oh, there she goes. That's yeah. Actually, on our Facebook page, the Fiber Art Now Facebook page, I posted one of her videos of how she uses that. and I got a lot of great comments there. So I know it's
yeah. I mean, this is a brand new one. There's one I should just take it apart. But yeah, it really. I'll do it. I always use them. And then if I have a used one, I give it to a student. Say, here, it's used. You can have mine for free. I can handle it. But yeah, it's really.
Right. Look at that. It's so useful.
I mean, I kind of in the sun here.
So by putting those.
But by putting it, say here, when you're doing something, you go, this is like 80% of your colors, and this color that goes out is between 20 and 10% is just a pop color. Huh. And I was explaining to my class recently about, I says, in all reality, if you really take your color grid, and you even watching a movie, magazine, anything, and it's kind of funny when you really know this, because you really don't pay attention to what they really do. But if you see a scene where somebody's clothing, it's like all those the pop colors there, the main colors there, and it's just everywhere.
All right. Well, as I said, on the Fiber Art Now Facebook page, if you just scroll down, I think probably yesterday, the Color Grid sponsors our magazine. They have an ad in our magazine. They do a lot with us. So we are always happy that Color Grid you're using Color Grid. I love that. So yeah. I'm going to start with some of my organized questions, even though it goes all over the place. But often I ask artists, how much of your work is based on the materiality or materials, and how much is on the idea of your work? I mean, it's the quality of your materials,
Pretty much. It depends on where I am and where I was. Where I was a long time ago when I did those butterfly shawls, it was the butterfly theme. I was really into looking at a butterfly in books, online, whatever, and to really see what the butterfly, your underside, and try to come up with that. And that's really, really hard, because if you don't use the right color wool, the wool's going up and the wool is going down, and if you're using different colors of silk, it totally changes your colors. So it's important to, when you're migrating your wool, to keep that in mind. So what it all boiled down to at the end, like most of those that you see, I use black. The black just tones the whole thing down. It brings all the colors together instead of separates them. It just mutes everything instead of changing it all up crazy. Yeah. And that's and the black came into play too, between that, and it kind of gave a great like a stained glass effect. It was really and the veining too. So it's just and then I just use color as my accents instead of like for wool. I would use basically black wool, and then if I had eyes or whatever or edges, I would throw in all kinds of colors that way.
Well, do you feel that fiber artists are sort of hyper-focused on their quality of their materials? I mean, look at the quality just radiates from that piece right there.
Yeah, I mean, you really, as you really get, especially you get into felting, at first when you're first doing it, you have no clue what you're supposed to use wool and fiber, fabric, whatever. I was using who knows what wool from Webb's. It was domestic wool. That was, wrong. I was using polyester, which you can use polyester, but it doesn't really, it doesn't do what silk does. And I was just, going at these splotches for, from what the book said, I don't get why this is not working. Right. So until, you really play with it and really figure it out and keep reading books, and to make a long story short, just take a class.
Take a class. There we go. Actually, I know you teach from Canada to the Northwest. I know you're up in the Pacific Northwest, and of course over at New England Felt Supply, and back down in Florida. You cover pretty much the whole United North continent here.
Yeah, it's all over, and I tell all of them, don't waste. I mean, it's fun to experiment on your own, but it really, it just is so many things to questions and things to answer. It's really is just take a class.
Take a class.
Yeah.
Well, we have I have up there your website. And you can see all the classes. I don't think Jean ever sleeps, so she's just traveling from one place to the next, right? And I know you just have a new grandchild too, right?
Yes,
That's exciting.
That's
exciting. Now you get to go up there pretty soon and enjoy that special.
And thank goodness for the online chat, because
you're online.
It makes better than nothing.
Well, okay, so look, Victoria, you're on top of it here. Yeah, you can see the schedule on her website.
There we are. Oh,
yeah, so the whole class schedule for 2015, and I know you're already working on something for next year. But I wanted to, there goes my dog. I wanted to ask you how does your environment, I know you used to live in New England and now you're down in Florida, and I was wondering how your environment might affect your work.
It does affect my work, and I should be, because I'm in Florida, I should be leaning towards brighter, crazy colors, but I kind of always, I like my winter jackets. Yeah. I don't care where I live, I still make them. I just I've always had a thing for jackets. Right. So, but it's more my studio space. It's like I have a big garage that I'm all set up out there. I do most of my dyeing out there. Then I got organized, and I have this one where I am in now. It's not large, but it's large enough for me. I can throw 3 tables together and do a good sized jacket, and it's air conditioned. So it is hot, and I do have to. I can't just work in the garage whenever I want to, because I get a little frustrated, and I pretty much melt.
Right. Well, I'm in Florida too, and I understand the melting factor.
Yeah.
For air conditioning, and I think I work with wool in a different way because of the heat.
Well, I still make things that are, like actually the ones I was playing with recently, not so much that one, more the ones with the locks and the stuff like that. I've been, and that's part of that too, is like for teaching, so not everybody lives in Florida. Well, some people do want the little bit warmer thing, and I don't always go too heavy. The ones that I made look a little bit heavier than they are. They really aren't heavy, but yeah, and so it's.
Well, do you have a piece that you're most proud of? That's kind of a funny question, but.
Well, the piece that I guess I'm most proud of is my original butterfly shawl, and it got me to where people have taken class from me. You have heard the story, I'm sure, many, many times, and some take over and over again, but they hear the same story, so whatever. No, it's really, it all kind of just happened. I took a class at New England Felting Supply about 8 years ago, I think. I always forget the exact number, but I took it with, it was a 4-day workshop with Linda Veilleux and Marianne Dubois. Then we made yardage and cut and sewed it up and made a jacket, which I hate to tell them I don't have anymore. I kind of got rid of it. It was like, really? Yeah, and that kind of got me into it, and then it got me used to working big. I answered any questions that I couldn't have figured out myself. And then I worked in my studio space has always been small, so I worked in a small little space I had in the house, and made the butterfly shawl, and I was very proud and thought it was good, but until I took it to Chris, and again, she's the one I can't tell you how thankful I am to have had her or have her, because she really did a lot for me, and still does a lot for me.
That's great. It's nice to have had that inspiration.
Yeah, and she's the one that, she told me, it was the most wonderful piece of Nuno that she'd ever seen. I'm like, I thought I was going to drop, but whatever. So I knew I was on the right path, and then eventually I started teaching for her, and haven't stopped.
Well, do you go in your studio every day, or is there,
I'd say 5 days. I've learned through time, like, when I was trying to do what, maybe it wasn't felting, it was whatever creativity, when my daughter was growing up. It's hard to be creative and be a parent at the same time. It's kind of like, it's...
a lot of people would agree.
Leave it up on whatever you want to, So, yeah, it's an artist. It's always like a fight. Not a fight, but it's a struggle. Because to me, I need time to quiet, to focus and think and be creative. So yeah, so I've learned, even just with having a husband, you do need stop, have family time. Don't get obsessed, felt all night, and and his days off, whatever. You need family time. It's important. So, and now I'll have other family time besides my daughter. I mean, I love her too, but she's far away.
Yeah. This is your daughter in this picture, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes.
She's a fabulous model.
Yes, she is.
We all feel like we know her too.
Yeah, I know. I can't. Well, but yeah, no, she's great. No, she's always done that since so this was right up her alley whenever I had her do this for me. But now I don't have her right there with me, so I kind of have to get around that.
It's like Robin Firth from Heartfelt Silks. Her daughter's a fabulous model, and Robin does some beautiful work, and it's always fun to see the daughters that are modeling. That's really nice, because
it is. So Katya does that too. Her daughter does a lot of her modeling. Even she's a beautiful girl, but herself. But yeah, she's her daughter does a lot of her stuff.
Well, so what are what's your favorite tool? Do you have a favorite tool?
I'd say the most favorite tool that I have is probably that I came into. I found other people in Australia were doing it too when I was there. I don't know. I didn't. It just happened. It was the non-skid rug mat. If you don't have the dryer, or use a. Some people don't like it. I use a dryer for my fulling or felting to fulling, whatever you want your term. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have that, it's those big rug non-skid mats you buy in like Walmart, Home Depot, in the rug section. To do your rolling in, it's like magically fast. It really is. Yeah.
Someone in the chat room here is asking about working in hot weather. Does it mean you have to use different techniques or methods? Oh, that's a good one to post, Victoria, there. Thank you.
Techniques to make warm, or to make clothing or just to work. You do have to make it a little bit lighter.
And I didn't know, maybe the humidity that we have here in lovely Florida, or versus the cold, drier air up in.
Well, I did notice something. I was really kind of a funny thing. I mean, I've been wetting out wool forever, and it's you wet out on the wool or on wool that's in the silk, whatever, and it's just kind of all gets absorbed in. Well, when I was in Colorado, in Estes Park, somebody was wetting their piece out, and it looked like sparkly diamonds on their jacket they were laying out, and I'm like, I've never seen that before. And I was showing him. He says, "You ever see that before?" They're like, "Well, I don't know. But it was. I think it was because the air is so dry there. Mm-hmm. There was something that it affected the water differently. It was really interesting, because I really did notice when I was. I noticed it again a little bit when I was up in Alberta recently, because it's kind of dry there. And it's different when it's humid. It's just it just
Yeah.
soaks in. But the dry air, it just made it all like look like diamonds. It was like really. I took a picture of it. I was showing people. I'm like, now look at that. And like they had never seen it either, so it wasn't just me.
Victoria, well, that's a great one. If there's any, some of those others of Gene and teaching mode are kind of fun for everybody to look at because everybody's on the side here asking about your process. And are all your wearable pieces, are they seamless?
Most of them, yes. Unless I make something and I really was not happy how it came out, it probably started seamless. But if it was really fitting kind of odd, I have no qualms about taking a sewing machine and using it because as much as when you're doing a seamless, you want to try to keep it seamless. You want that seamless saying.
Mm-hmm.
I just I don't mind adding a sewing machine to it. Sometimes the sewing, it takes a different look to it. It's just another way of adding some interest to your piece. Or even like there's one piece that I have. A friend of mine, my armhole's too big on one of my like a vest, and a friend told me. She's a seamstress. She goes, well, add a flange. Well, do you think I knew what a flange was? Well, I know what it is in plumbing, but so I had to look. I looked it up. But you don't think I was going to say, oh, what is that? I looked it up. Again, do it myself. So it was a piece that you made, like a circle, and I sewed it in, and it worked like magic.
Someone's asking for us to repeat your favorite tool.
Oh, my favorite tool.
You have one nearby you can show us?
I have a whole room full of them. This is probably an old dirty one. This is just a small piece.
Right, well, there we go. There we go. Everybody see that?
It's kind of like the drawer. It's the drawer liner.
Yeah.
But again, somebody else took a class recently and said that there's a difference between the drawer liner one and the rug liner one. The rug liner is softer and squishier, and the drawer liner is stiffer, and it does make a difference. So just go for the rug liner.
Rug liner, got it. Okay, everybody get that information down.
That nice, messy.
Yeah, okay.
Rug liner. And just to FYI, when you are using those, like I use a lot of black, but if I happen to make something like all white, like say the jacket that's behind me, you definitely want to start off with one that's designated for white only, because if you use one that has black in it or another color in it, it's that those other colors are going to felt into your white piece. Been there, done that, and that's why I do well at teaching, because I teach everybody what not to do. I did it.
That's a really good. Someone's asking about the hardness or softness of water. Does that affect?
Somebody said that to me up in Whidbey Island one time. I haven't experienced anything. I don't play with the water. I think I have really hard water here.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Someone else is asking about how much shrinkage should you expect in a jacket, and here's a really good picture, I think, to maybe.
Yeah, well, it depends on how you lay your wool out. I usually lay most of my wool all in one direction, or it's very directional. Some people crosshatch. Crosshatch, you're going to get equal shrinkage, and it's probably about 42%. If you're the lengthwise, if it's just one way, it's 42%, and it will shrink 32% inwise.
Okay.
And there's an app out there. I'm queen of apps.
Yay.
I've been using it in my classes lately. It's called Percent Diff, DIFF. It's all one word. From what I understand, I think that this certain app is only for like iPhones and iPads. There might be an Android one similar. But if you plug in your numbers, if you're playing with your like a 12 by 12 square, you can figure out what your shrinkage is, and then there's a method that you back into it to make your pattern size. So, because I'm not a math person, and I'll tell every class going, I'm not a math person. It's the daughter. Anyway, I'm not it. But this really helps, figuring the whole thing out incorrectly.
Sure. All right. Well, I want to keep moving on. Just wondering, I would like to see. Oh, is that the app there? Good job, Victoria, pulling that app up.
Oh, thank you, Victoria. You're awesome.
She's on top of it.
I know.
So we were talking earlier about your using a sketchbook, and I know we've got some images, but while I've got you up on I know you were telling us about a sketchbook app, but I'd love to see your actual sketchbooks first there that you've got.
So here's some of my
Uh-huh.
sketchbooks. Like I'll do a sample, and then after I've done it all, I'll keep I try to anyway, not all of them have it, but I try to keep a little bit of everything just so I can remember what I used.
Oh, that's great.
It's like a little sketch of what I already did.
Right.
And I had a friend one time, she thought I did the sketch after I did the thing. I'm like, no, I did it first.
So you're designed first, and then you go to your tool and implement.
And I think there's one, and I think you might have a picture of the one with the sketchbook with it was green and blue. It's a good example because I really did do that one first because I changed it all up. I was doing it, and I was having a hard time wrapping my head around yes, there is. I had a hard time wrapping my head around when I did that. It was the first swing jacket that I did. In my mind, I was going to have it look like a butterfly. Well, I was getting ready, preparing for a class. I didn't have all the time in the world. And once I got to the back area where it was inserts and all that, I said, forget it. It's not happening. So that one did not turn out to look like exactly. I mean, it was similar with colors, but it's changed.
Yeah, well, that's part of the evolution. Marcia was asking, what do you concentrate on the most? Your work, your designs, your teaching, selling?
Selling, I don't focus on selling. If I put stuff, I actually have been pretty bad about listing. I have the closet full that I need to list. I focus, I guess, more with teaching to coming up with new ideas and to keep things different. You get stale or whatever. You have to either keep learning and teaching yourself new ways and getting new ideas. So that's a main thing with me. Is like you spend a lot of time on that, trying to really think about something, make it different, not like everybody else, and making sure it looks right or fits right, or a design that it's not a lot of some people's, or it's not for everybody, and especially as a woman gets older, you need, and I'm the good example. As things fit you differently, things look differently. So, I try to,
Well, I guess someone was asking, what's the best advice you've ever been given?
Actually, I'm great for people saying, giving me compliments, and I'm great for saying, avoiding the compliment. So Ann Kempton at Timeless Textiles in Australia sat me down and she said, Jean, just say thank you.
That's good advice.
Like, oh, okay. I said it was really good advice because I really didn't do that. I'm getting better at doing is to say thank you.
Well, what's something that gets away gets away to your creativity, and how do you move through it, Because
Oh, well, like I think anybody, if you're having a bad day or there's things that go on in your life that are just kind of like,
Mhm.
that just kind of saps any kind of creative juices that you have going. And I don't have what I'm going to tell you with me right now because he's a sweetheart to work with is my dog.
Oh, right.
Augie is like the funniest dog ever. You take one look at him and he just got a face to,
Gets you through it, huh?
Yeah, he really does. He's a great working partner. He's really quiet, and he just hangs with me all day.
Well, I'm sitting here hoping my two dogs will be quiet while
That's the first white dog I've ever had, Cammie. So
I need that breed.
no, there's only one. Augie dog is it.
So, do you think you could move your computer around so we could take a little peek of some of the nooks and crannies there?
So this is behind me is like all my what I have for silk, so I can get an idea of what I have. And around here
Oh, look at all that.
is my silk, tussar silks, and bamboo, anything. And then over here is any kind of novelty yarn or whatever I can put into my
Oh, that looks
piece.
like heaven right there.
And then over here are how my wools, all the colored wools, pretty much organized.
Wow, who needs shoes when you have?
Yeah, really.
Oh, that looks pretty. Someone's asking what your favorite breed of wool you use, alpaca or Cormo fleece, or you have
I tend to stick with merino especially when I'm making felting. I pretty much stay with like the superfine. I really like the superfine. I mean, I use 22 micron. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I have used like the really super fine. That's really nice, especially if you're you've got a really heavy material that you want that wool to go through. So that 15 micron, or I think 15 micron DHG has 15 micron, and it feels like cashmere.
I know.
Really
DHG's nice. I think they were getting it even thinner.
14 maybe.
Yeah, I think it was 14, and I had some, and it's the softest, softest. I'm so glad we're able to get it at New England Felting because it really. I know they are very. DHG is very mindful about the places, the farms that raise the sheep and how they're treated. They're very careful about animals.
Yeah, years ago I heard somebody on Etsy, I think, was asking me, about that, and I didn't know anything about that, so I did.
Yeah, there we
go. But again, I don't know. But yes, once you start reading these things, it's like, well, I hope,
Oh, there we go. That's good. Yeah, I just, DHG has a great blog that they post practically every week. But if you go on their website, they have some really good stories about, I think they've been around, it's a family that's been around since the early 50s. And their story, their images, their black and white images of all these people, all these Italians sitting around this beautiful table, and bales of wool are everywhere. And I don't know, it's a great, a great picture. So
the other thing I've been getting into, is lately I online on Facebook, stuff that I was recently making. I call myself I'm a day late and a dollar short, and my friends tease me. It's like, well, what took you so long to use wool locks? Well, it's because it's experimenting, and you can only have time to experiment so much. But my new favorite thing is wool locks.
They're fun, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
tear them apart. They just feel good.
Oh, they're lovely, and then teaswa or whatever. They're fun. They are fun, and I live in Florida. Whatever. I still like wool. Still like wool, and I still like wool locks.
Me too. So, do you get your work in galleries? How did you initially?
I don't do a lot of galleries. I did when I was up in at New England Felting Supply. I mean, we had a, if I had it online and it was there, I could, go get it if I sold it. You can't do that everywhere. Uh, and then it's more seen visual. It's online. The world sees it versus only a few people go into galleries. So, and again, my main thing wasn't really selling. It is if I do. I mean, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. It's more teaching than selling. But so I tend to stay away from the galleries really, unless I might be having one of my own soon. But it's more. It's not even for a gallery. It's really. I'll sell, but it's more like to have a working studio right on the water. It's kind of like a really nice spot.
Yeah, that was fun to. You want to maybe talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Like there was. It's not a lot of fiber people that it's hard to find them in Florida, and I really haven't searched for them. And my husband keeps saying, "Oh, you gotta find them." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. I go teach around the world."
Yeah.
But anyway, somebody contacted me from Facebook, Suzanne Connors. It's IS Studio, AYA. She does indigo dyeing, and I've been kind of I'm interested in natural dyes, so she does classes, and so it was like a perfect match. And then there might be studio space that I'll be able to, within 8 and 10 months, that I can take from here, and I'll go where, it will
have your own space to
have my own space, and it's right on the water, and I can will be able to hold classes there, and in that common area, and it's hopefully it will all work out, and
yeah,
well, someone doing what I'm doing.
Well, I'm excited that you're going to be doing that. I think that's going to be wonderful. Let's see, Victoria's putting something up here.
That's it. Suzanne Connors. She makes some beautiful indigo. Really nice, very, very nice stuff.
Yeah.
It was a great meeting her, and like I said, next I'm going to do a class on beets and onion skins on Thursday, and then I signed up for another one on Monday for the indigo. Because again, I might as well take a class rather than trying to play with it myself. And
right. That sounds good. Someone over here is asking if you mix your different kinds of wools together when you felt, or do you just stick with one type of merino?
I usually use just one type of merino, unless like if I have different colors that are 22 and 19, and I'm trying to get some, if it's all I have on hand, that's what I use.
Yeah.
But I don't use a lot of different wools together in my clothing. I might if I was doing like a painting, like a needle felted painting or whatever, that's not that you can use just about anything. But as far as clothing, pretty much merino. I mean, I'm boring. I use merino.
What do you have on your design table right now?
Right now, I was waiting. I was like kind of diddling around, and I said, well, I need to start some scarves because I just sold some, and I was like, when you start selling, when you do sell, you have to
keep it
replenish. So I was starting a shawl with all different Florida colors.
That's good. Yeah, Florida colors. Well, they're so rich.
I was trying.
Colors. Yeah. Let's see. What else? Well, okay. So, what do you have coming up for the future? I know you've got some great workshops. Please, everybody, check on our website. We have links to. But where's your next workshop?
My next workshop is in Williston, Vermont, at Fiber. Here, I got a list right here. Northeast Fiber Arts Center.
Mm-hmm.
And that's July 9th to the 11th. It's a Nuno butterfly shawl or tunic. It's a 3-day workshop. I usually ask for experience on Nuno felting because I try on the bigger pieces. Usually it's so much. It's a big project, and you really need to know without having to start at the basics. You really do need to do that. usually if I have a beginner class, I will always take beginners in the scarflet or the shawlette classes. That's usually a one-day workshop, and that's that. You know, and if once people take that, then they can go on. At least they know how to do things.
Yeah, that's true. So it looks
And
like the Northwest. You'll be in my favorite part of the universe.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. That's right. That's right. You're from Seattle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that's a really they Pacific Northwest Art School is a great supporter of our magazine. And someone's asking if you teach in Florida. Well, I think she's hoping to do that.
Maybe soon. Maybe by the winter.
Yeah, it's a good time to be down here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
And
Pacific Northwest Art School this will be my third year there, and beginning of August, and it's a jacket class and a 5-day jacket class and a 1-day scarflet classes. And then I think right after that I have one. Right after that I have a seamless hoodie vest class and I think 2 scarf classes in Cleveland. Right outside of Cleveland in I don't even know how to say it. Chardon Falls.
they're all over the place.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah. Okay, well, everybody can find these. We've got them on our class schedule on our website, on Jean's website. So, Jean, just one last question: where do you see the future of fiber arts headed?
Wow. Well, it's really interesting right now because especially, I came from an area that there were a lot of felters up in the Northeast. It was very, it's pretty popular up there. Even still, there's a lot of people that still do not have any clue what felting is. But down here or in other parts of the country, really, really people do not know what it is. So I see it as it's really at its early stage. Felting anyway is really at its felting especially is at its early stages of people, finding out what it is. And when people see it or you wear it, I can't even begin to tell you. I don't get to wear them very often because it is hot here. But if I do go somewhere on a plane or whatever, the comments that I get from people are, what is that? How did you do that? So I'm on a plane explaining felting. But really, people
you're
don't
spreading
know
the world.
Yeah. So I really, to me, it's like really, really, still got a long way to go.
I love the opportunity to be doing the social media for Fiber Art Now because I've become friends with textile artists all over the world, but the felters up in the Netherlands and over in Croatia and Russia, there's just they're on a whole nother planet doing amazing things. And then there's our friends down under who they're just felting up a storm.
For some reason, the Russian felters, the ones that I've met or know, I mean, they're fantastic. They really are. I think they get a whole other education in that we don't.
Right.
From what I'm told, I wish I had their knowledge that they do. So if learning from them is really
right. We're lucky that we have the internet because I see so many exchanges on ideas and how they do things and the YouTubes that are out there. I have a couple more questions. Nancy says, have you ever felted cashmere? And Alice is asking if you ever line your jackets.
No, I never line my jackets because I always do silk, wool, silk. So it's I keep my wool on the very light level, so it's not a heavy wool thing. But no, I never line my jackets. And cashmere, I have used it a little bit. I bought some to try. Again, it's expensive. So if you're making a big project with it, it can get costly. But it is lovely. But I have felted with it a little bit, not a lot.
Oh, good. Well, Jean, thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday. And it's nice to have the opportunity to see your studio and hear. Here, but Victoria, you're doing a great job here. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get these up.
I'm sorry, Victoria, I haven't been paying attention. Oh, that's that
Oh,
woolly. That's the woolly
yeah,
jacket I was explaining.
that's a showstopper for
That was
certain.
that. Yeah. I really. Well, again, all of my latest is like, oh,
Yeah, your favorite, your baby.
then the next one comes along and it's like, oh, I like that one better.
Right, right. And Alice is still wanting to know, are you dyeing your own colors?
Colors for wool. I think the only time I dye colors for wool is if I have white wool locks and I wanted to do a color. For wool, I said no, because you can get the colors that you can get from all these suppliers are like
Yeah.
I mean it's as like 80 colors plus, I think. I don't know, but it's like it's time consuming and
Hmm. Yeah, it is. It is, and there's so many options with
yeah,
at New England Felting, or
right,
if you go on any of their websites, you'll be able to see what uh, um, a plethora of
yeah.
colors that we've
Because
got out there.
I've had people from classes like to tell me ahead of time. They email me, and they were dyeing this and they were dyeing that. And I'm like, just especially like black. Black is like the worst color in the world to dye.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just the worst. It runs forever, and you can never get a true black. When you need a true black, uh,
Let the professionals do it.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, and really thank you, and it's nice meeting you too. I've been
Yeah,
in touch, Facebook friends for a while, and now
right.
now you know the real
Okay.
thing.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us today, and this will be live on. I mean, we'll have the recordings from all our other artists are on our website. Thank you very much, DHG Dine House Gallery, for sponsoring us today as well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Take care.